What happens when one of America's most loved singers suddenly finds herself cornered in a live interview that no one could have predicted? Imagine Kelly Clarkson, the singer who rose to fame with her powerful voice and who has always been admired for her warm, approachable personality, walking onto the set of the Today Show for what was supposed to be an easy, upbeat conversation. She sits down with host Hoda Kotb, prepared to talk about her new album and share laughs. But instead, what should have been a simple interview takes a turn that leaves the entire studio stunned. By the end, Kelly is so furious that she stands up and walks right out, live on air. The clash that unfolded was raw, emotional, and intense. So intense that fans got to see a side of Kelly they had never seen before. This was not the Kelly Clarkson everyone thought they knew. And if you're listening now, you'll want to stick around, because this is one story that will make you rethink everything about celebrity interviews. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments, because this moment is going to spark conversations for a long time. That morning in the studio started like any other. The lights above the set glowed brightly, washing everything in their usual soft warmth. Hoda Kotb was settled in her familiar spot, looking professional and calm, with her stack of notes neatly organized on the coffee table in front of her. Across from her, Kelly Clarkson adjusted her bright blue dress and brushed a strand of blonde hair behind her ear, smiling warmly at the cameras as she sat down. Kelly looked comfortable, cheerful, exactly like the person fans have loved for years. As the red light on the camera flicked on, what should have been just another celebrity interview quickly began spiraling into something unforgettable. "Kelly, welcome back to the show," Hoda said, her tone friendly and familiar. "It's always such a joy to have you with us." "Thank you so much, Hoda," Kelly replied, her smile genuine. "I always love being here. This show has always felt like a second home to me. So far, so good." The interview had all the signs of being another light-hearted conversation. Hoda nodded and looked briefly at her notes. "Now, we're definitely going to talk about your new music because your fans are really excited. But before we dive into that, I have to ask you about something that's been in the news recently." Kelly's face changed just slightly. Her smile faded a little, and her eyes narrowed with the kind of cautious curiosity that said she wasn't sure what was coming. "Oh, okay. What is it?" she asked. "Well," Hoda said carefully, "there have been stories about some tension between you and your fellow coaches on The Voice. A few reports suggest that behind the scenes things got heated during your last season. Can you shed any light on what really happened?" The question seemed to freeze the air in the studio. Kelly's smile slipped almost completely, though she quickly tried to recover her composure. Her voice, however, was noticeably sharper. "I think there's some confusion here, Hoda. I haven't been part of The Voice for quite a while now." "Maybe someone mixed things up?" Hoda leaned forward slightly, her expression serious. "Actually, I'm referring to your final season. We've spoken with several sources who mentioned that there were disagreements, even some very public clashes with production staff. One story even claimed that during a particularly heated exchange, you threw a chair in anger." Kelly's entire body stiffened. Her hands pressed tightly together in her lap. "I don't know where you're getting that from," she said firmly. "That is completely false. I would never behave like that. Honestly, I'm a little shocked you're even bringing up gossip like this in what I thought was going to be an interview about my album." You could feel the shift instantly. The people working behind the cameras felt it. The crew exchanged looks, aware that this was no longer a cheerful morning chat. Even Hoda, who had built her career on staying calm under pressure, seemed to realize she was on dangerous ground. But instead of letting the subject go, she pushed ahead. "Kelly, I understand this is uncomfortable," she said, "but these aren't random rumors. We've spoken to multiple people, and I think the audience deserves your response. Is there truth to the claim that your exit from The Voice wasn't entirely your choice?" Kelly's face flushed with disbelief and her voice rose. "Are you seriously trying to say that I was fired? That's absolutely untrue, and I can't believe you're confronting me with this right now. I came here to talk about my music, songs that I poured my heart into. And instead, you're coming after me with secondhand gossip from so-called anonymous sources?" Hoda's expression stayed neutral, though her eyes held a firm seriousness. "Kelly, I'm not coming after you. This isn't personal. But when we hear consistent reports from credible individuals, it's our responsibility to ask about it. There is nothing to set straight here. Kelly shot back, her voice trembling with frustration. What you're doing right now is not responsible journalism. You're repeating unverified stories on live TV, and you're making it sound like fact. The tension wasn't just in Kelly's words now, it was in her entire body language. Her hands moved as she spoke. Her shoulders were tight, and her voice carried raw emotion. Fans who had only ever seen her laugh and smile would have been stunned by the fierce side she was showing. Hoda tried to soften the moment. Kelly, please understand, people are curious when they hear these things. They want answers. People want answers, Kelly echoed bitterly. Or do they just want drama? Because right now, Hoda, this feels like an ambush. Like you invited me here under false pretenses just to throw this in my face. The studio was completely silent. You could hear the faint hum of the cameras over the stillness. Everyone knew something extraordinary was happening. Hoda tried once more, gently this time. Kelly, I never wanted to upset you. I respect you deeply both as an artist and a person. But when these kinds of concerns are raised by people who worked closely with you, don't you think your fans deserve to hear your side? Kelly locked eyes with her, and the anger in her gaze was impossible to miss. Her voice was controlled, but underneath it was fire. My fans deserve better than this, Hoda. Better than watching me get ambushed on live television with gossip. They deserve honesty, and so do I. The words landed hard. Hoda had interviewed plenty of celebrities in tough moments, but this wasn't like those times. Kelly's tone was cutting through the air like glass. Hoda pressed on, though her voice carried more hesitation now. Kelly, these people weren't outsiders. They were members of your team, crew members who saw what happened. Kelly blinked in shock. Wait, you've been talking to production staff? People under contract? People whose jobs depend on loyalty and professionalism? I can't reveal who they are, Hoda replied calmly. But yes, these are individuals who were present. They felt strongly enough to speak out. Kelly leaned forward, her voice dropping low, every word heavy. So people I treated with kindness and respect decided to go behind my back and say I was some kind of monster? And you're broadcasting their lies? Kelly, they're not trying to ruin you, Hoda replied carefully. They spoke up because they believed it was important. They said there were times you lost your temper, times you were hard to work with, and moments that created tension. The accusations hit Kelly like a punch. Her face drained of color, then flushed again. Her voice rose. A hostile environment? That is insane. My entire career is built on kindness and respect. And now you're telling me I'm being painted as a diva? I can't believe this. Hoda's calm mask began to crack, but she kept going. One story said you shouted at an assistant over bringing the wrong kind of water. Kelly let out a sharp, bitter laugh. Water? You're ruining my reputation over water? Do you even hear how absurd that is? But Hoda didn't stop. That's just one example. There were also reports of you showing up late, refusing to work with certain staff, and even telling a makeup artist she wasn't good enough. Kelly's hands shook as she stood up, fury clear in every movement. This is outrageous. You're spreading lies on live television. Do you realize how damaging this is? To me? To my family? To everything I've worked for? The atmosphere was like a powder keg, moments from exploding. The crew didn't move. The cameras kept rolling, and everyone knew this was a moment that would go down in TV history. Kelly, if this isn't true, then tell us, Hoda pressed. Were there disagreements with the team? My side of the story? Kelly's voice was filled with rage. My side is simple. I showed up, did my job, treated everyone with respect, and left the show on my own terms. That's it. So you admit there were conflicts? Hoda asked. Of course there were conflicts, Kelly snapped. It's a high-pressure job. People clash, but that's not the same as being abusive or toxic, and you know it. Hoda nodded slowly. Then what about the claim that you threw a script at a director? That was the breaking point. Kelly shoved her chair back, fully standing now. A script? I have never thrown anything at anyone in my life. The fact that you'd repeat that to millions of viewers is disgusting. Her anger was undeniable. She unclipped her microphone, her hands trembling as she placed it down firmly on the table. You know what, Hoda? She said, looking directly into the camera. I'm done. Done with this ambush. Done with this so-called journalism. Done with being attacked. She turned toward the viewers. To everyone who has supported me, none of this is true. I have only ever been professional and kind. And to this network, shame on you for allowing this to happen. Finally, she turned back to Hoda, her voice shaking with betrayal. I trusted you. I thought we were friends. And this is how you treat me? I hope it was worth it. And with that, Kelly Clarkson walked off, leaving Hoda sitting frozen in disbelief as the cameras kept rolling. The set was silent, the crew motionless. What had just unfolded was unlike anything anyone expected. The confrontation ended, but the impact rippled far beyond that studio. For fans, for the network, and for Hoda herself, the fallout from that moment would last for years. So, what do you think? Did Kelly do the right thing by walking off, or should she have stayed and defended herself further? Share your thoughts in the comments and make sure to subscribe for more explosive celebrity moments you won't see anywhere else.